My child, I've watched you carry worries that were never meant to be yours. You've been thinking too much, wondering why things haven't worked out the way you hoped. You look at others moving forward and you ask quietly, Lord, did I miss something? Did I go the wrong way? But I want you to pause for a moment. Breathe. Look at me, because I'm not confused about your life. I've never been unsure about your path. I wrote your story long before you saw your first problem. Every moment of delay, every moment of silence, I was still in control. I never let go. I never looked away. You may have felt abandoned, but you were never alone. You were being prepared. You see, the world teaches you to fear the unknown, but I used the unknown to build your trust in me. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was the stage being set for something greater than what you prayed for. So I'm here now to say something to your spirit. You've been so close to giving up. You've been asking me, is it over? And I say this with all of heaven watching. No, it's not over. It's already finished. You've already won. I'm not guessing what comes next. I already wrote it. I know how the chapter ends. I know the exact second the door will open. I know who will support you. I know who will leave. I know what needs to shift. And I'm already shifting it. I see the pain behind your smile. I see the nights when you couldn't sleep, pretending everything was okay. I know how hard you've tried to stay strong when everything around you felt uncertain. But you don't have to pretend anymore. I see it. I understand. And I'm here now to tell you, this is not your defeat. This is the moment before your rise. Even before the world recognizes your breakthrough. Even before the reward is visible. Even before the answers come. You've already been given the victory. Because the battle was never between you and them. It was between your fear and my promise. And my promise always wins. So don't let your emotions talk louder than my truth. Don't let fear steal what faith has already secured. Don't let delay make you believe I changed my mind. I didn't forget you. I didn't ignore your tears. And I certainly didn't bring you this far just to leave you halfway. The ending of this chapter has already been written, and it's written in favor of your name. This is not a guess. It's a divine certainty. It's already settled. It's already done. The outcome is victory. The label on your life is chosen, and the seal on your heart is mine. Now I ask you to do something bold. Not for me, but for yourself. Go to the comments and write, I receive this divine word. Let it be your declaration that you're no longer a prisoner of doubt. Let it be your first step into freedom. Because this is not the voice of motivation. This is not the voice of inspiration. This is me, your God, speaking directly to your soul. Let's walk forward now. I have something prepared just for you. You've carried enough. Now it's time to rise. Because, my child, you've already won. The storm was never stronger than the promise. My precious one, when the winds started to rise, I saw your fear. When the skies began to turn gray, I felt your heart tremble. When the voices around you started saying you were losing, I heard their every word. And I also heard the quiet panic inside you, wondering if they might be right. But I want you to hear me now, louder than the wind, clearer than the doubt. You were never losing. You were learning. The storm wasn't sent to break you. It was sent to reveal what could never be taken from you. There are things I planted deep inside of you that only storms can expose. Like faith that refuses to bow, strength that stands when everything else shakes, and trust that doesn't depend on what you see, but on who I am. You thought the chaos meant something was going wrong, but in my eyes, it meant everything was being rearranged so that what truly belongs to you could come into your life without delay. The storm didn't signal the end, it announced the shift. Yes, the winds blew. Yes, the clouds gathered. Yes, the pressure felt unbearable. But did you notice? Even in the middle of that storm, you were still breathing. Even when everything felt unstable, I held you steady. Even when it looked like nothing made sense, my hand never let go of you. Child, you thought you were drowning. You thought the water was rising to take you under. But I was never going to let that happen. You weren't sinking, you were being called to rise above. That's why I didn't remove the storm instantly. Because in the middle of the chaos, I was teaching you something eternal. I am still in control when everything else is out of your hands. Do you remember what I spoke long ago? I didn't say try harder. I didn't say figure it out. I simply said, peace, be still. And at that word, the storm had no choice but to quiet down. So now I ask you, if even the wind obeys me, if even the sea stops when I say stop, why do you believe that what's surrounding you now is too much for me? You've let the noise convince you that my promise is on pause. You've let fear rewrite what I have already declared as finished. But I remind you today, my word has more weight than any storm. My promise has more power than any problem. My plan for your life is not fragile. It is fire-tested and heaven-backed. You may not understand the timing, you may not see the outcome yet, but just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not already unfolding. Even in storms, I move. Even in silence, I speak. Even in waiting, I work. What looked like a delay was really a divine reset. What felt like abandonment was actually preparation. What seemed like loss is about to turn into legacy. Because no storm is stronger than my voice. No disaster is greater than my direction. And no trouble is more lasting than my truth. So I say this to you now. Stop giving the storm more credit than it deserves. It did not win, it did not take you out, and it will not define your future. You are still here. You are still standing, you are still chosen, and most importantly, you are still mine. This storm may have shaken the surface, but it couldn't shake your foundation, because I am your foundation. And I don't shift, I don't break, I don't change. Now rise, my child, not in your own strength, but in my promise. Let the storm pass, because it has served its purpose. Let fear fall, because it no longer fits who you are. You've walked through the wind, and you've come out wiser. You've stood in the storm, and you've come out stronger. You're not just surviving, you're standing in victory. The storm didn't break you, it built you. You won in the invisible realm first, my child. The world is quick to celebrate what it can see, loud victories, public recognition, visible success. But I do not measure your victory the way people do. The true triumph in your life didn't begin when others noticed you. It began in the quiet moments when only I was watching. You may have thought nothing was happening during those times, but I was watching every step. And what I saw moved heaven. I saw you kneel in prayer when you had nothing but broken pieces in your heart. I saw you lift your hands in worship while carrying the weight of disappointment. I saw you speak life into others, even when you were secretly hoping someone would do the same for you. You gave from your emptiness. You served while unseen. You remained faithful, even when the answers didn't come right away. And those are the victories that matter most to me. You won when you resisted the urge to complain. You won when you chose to believe in my plan even when the details were blurry. You won when you kept going despite the silence, the delay, the confusion. You didn't need an audience, you needed obedience, and you gave me that. Your strength didn't come from applause. Your strength came from choosing me again and again, even when it was hard, even when it was lonely, even when it didn't make sense. Others may never know the price you paid in secret, but I know, heaven knows. And because of those hidden victories, what's coming next will not be small. You see, I honor what happens in the unseen. I reward what's done in the shadows. I bless what was birthed in the dark, because light doesn't need a stage to shine. It just needs to be true. You didn't win by being loud. You didn't win by fighting harder than others. You won by standing firm when it would have been easier to walk away. When no one clapped, when no one said thank you, when no one acknowledged your effort, I was there. I was recording it, and I was preparing a blessing that matches every unseen act of faith. So if you're wondering why doors are about to open, if you're surprised by the favor that's coming, let me tell you why. It's not because of status, it's not because of luck, it's not because of what you wore or who you knew or what you posted. It's because in the secret place, when no one else was looking, you chose me, you chose faith, you chose truth. You chose righteousness when you could have chosen revenge. You chose peace when you could have chosen bitterness. You chose silence when you could have spoken out of anger. And now, my child, now it's time for the harvest. Now it's time for what you planted in pain to rise in promise. Now it's time for what was done in the dark to shine in the light. You won in the realm others couldn't see. You defeated fear in your thoughts. You defeated doubt in your spirit. You defeated giving up by simply continuing, one step at a time, one prayer at a time, one quiet yes at a time. And because of that, because you stood firm when you were tempted to fall apart, because you didn't let emotions shake your foundation, because you trusted me when nothing was certain. Now, my promise is unfolding. Not because you shouted the loudest, not because you proved yourself to the world, but because your soul proved faithful to me. The reward is coming, not because of what others saw, but because of what I saw. And I saw everything. I saw you win before the world ever noticed. Worry is a weapon, but it doesn't belong to you. My child, you've been carrying a heavy load in your thoughts. You've been going over the same questions again and again. What if things go wrong? What if I lose everything I worked for? What if I get disappointed again? These thoughts are not from me. They are not your truth. They are traps. Worry doesn't come from my spirit. It comes to distract, to weaken, and to confuse. The enemy knows he cannot take what I have already promised you. So instead, he tries to twist your focus. He tries to make you look at the problem so much that you forget the promise. He tries to make you imagine the worst, so you stop believing for the best. But today, I want you to recognize this for what it truly is. Worry is a weapon. It's designed to steal your peace and damage your trust. It doesn't come to prepare you. It comes to paralyze you. Worry wants you to freeze in fear instead of walking forward in faith. Worry wants you to assume failure before you even take the first step. Worry tells you to protect yourself, even from the blessings I'm trying to give you. But you were never created to live in constant fear. You were never designed to be ruled by doubt. I formed you for courage. I created you for clarity. I called you to walk in peace, not panic. I have never once said, be anxious. But I have said again and again, do not fear. Not because trouble will never come, but because I will never leave you in it alone. When fear starts whispering in your mind, I want you to remember something simple. You have the power to tell it to stop. You don't have to listen to every thought that enters your head. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every fear deserves your energy. My voice leads with peace. My voice brings stillness. My voice gives comfort. And I never speak through panic. So if what you're hearing makes you afraid, know this. It is not from me. Let me remind you of what I have already placed inside of you. I gave you strength, not weakness. I gave you vision, not confusion. I gave you a sound mind, not scattered thoughts. You are not helpless. You are not broken. You are not lost. You have authority. Authority to say enough. Authority to quiet the storm inside you. Authority to walk boldly, even when the path is not fully clear. And why do you have that authority? Because I gave it to you. So now I want you to do something. Stop rehearsing defeat. Stop predicting disaster. Stop holding on to thoughts that drain your joy. Instead, start expecting good things. Start declaring peace. Start trusting that I am working, even when you can't see the full picture yet. Worry will always try to creep in, but you have the choice not to let it stay. You don't have to invite it in. You don't have to make room for it. Let it knock, but don't answer. Let it speak, but don't believe. Let it come, but watch it leave when it realizes it no longer controls you. You've already won, not because you feel strong every day, but because you've chosen to trust me even on the hard days. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to release the worry that was never yours to carry. You were made to rest in me, to breathe deeply, knowing I've already gone ahead of you, to sleep in peace, not because everything is finished, but because I've promised it will be. So today, let the worry fall away. Let your heart be quiet again. Let your mind breathe again, because the outcome is already written. And the result, you win. Not by worrying, but by believing me. This battle is not yours to fight anymore. My child, I've seen how hard you've been trying. You've done everything you knew how to do. You've stayed up at night thinking, planning, asking, hoping. You've cried behind closed doors, feeling the weight no one else could see. You've begged me for answers. You've tried to fix what was broken, carry what was too heavy, and heal what kept hurting. But I need you to hear this now. You were never meant to fight this on your own. This battle you're facing today, it no longer belongs in your hands. It belongs to me. You see your effort. I see your exhaustion. You see the mess. I see the turning point. Let go, not because you've lost control, but because I've already taken over. Surrender is not weakness when it's given to the one who has all power. You are not quitting. You are trusting. And there is no safer place than in the center of my will. You keep asking me what to do next. But I'm asking you to rest, not to stop caring, not to give up your faith, but to stop carrying what was never your assignment to begin with. I never asked you to fix it all. I never told you to figure it all out. What I asked was simple: be still and know that I am God. That means letting go of the fear that says you have to be in control all the time. That means laying down the pressure that keeps whispering, if you don't fix this now, everything will fall apart. No, child. That's not truth, that's torment. And I did not call you to be tormented. I called you to walk in trust. So today, I am reminding you, this fight you're in, it's mine now. You're not alone in this. I'm not watching from a distance. I'm right in the middle of it. I go before you, preparing every step. I stand behind you, protecting your past. I surround you on every side, shielding you from what you can't see. When others rise against you in secret, I confuse their plans. When false words are spoken about you, I become your truth. When doors are closed in your face, I open new ones. Ones that don't need approval from people who walked away. I am not late. I am not slow. I am not ignoring your cries. I am moving on a schedule that is perfect, not rushed. I know it's hard to wait. I know you want to see everything change right now. But I am not just interested in fixing the situation. I'm also preparing your heart so that when the breakthrough comes, you will carry it with wisdom, not worry. You've prayed, you've stood, you've endured. Now it's time to step back and allow me to finish what I started. You don't need to keep proving yourself. You don't need to chase people's approval. You don't need to keep spinning in circles trying to hold everything together. I've already taken your tears and turned them into seeds. Now let me bring the harvest. Let me do the fighting. Let me prove that I am still your defender. Rest, my child. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is covered. I'm working where you cannot see. I'm fixing what you didn't even know was broken. I'm arranging conversations, hearts, and situations, all for your good. You won't have to knock down the door. I will open it myself, and when I do, no one will be able to close it again. So breathe. Let go of the burden. Loosen your grip on the outcome. This is no longer your battle. It's mine. I am closing chapters you don't need anymore. My child, you've been noticing things shifting around you. Some people you trusted are suddenly distant. Some plans you made no longer feel right. Some paths you once followed now feel blocked. And your heart is asking, why is this happening now? You've started to wonder if you did something wrong. You've questioned if this is punishment. But I want to calm your thoughts today. This is not punishment. This is protection. I am not closing doors to hurt you. I'm closing them to heal you. Some things that you once called important were actually distractions. Some people you called loyal were only meant for a short season. And some places you tried to remain in were not strong enough to hold what I'm building in your life. So yes, I'm closing chapters, but not because your story is ending. I'm closing them because your story is just beginning in a new, better way. There are people who left, and I allowed it. There are relationships that faded, and I let them. There are doors that refused to open, and I held them shut. Not because I wanted you to feel lonely, but because I needed you to grow without the noise. There are things I want to give you that can't be shared with everyone around you. Not everyone is equipped to walk with you into the next level. Not every voice is meant to speak into your purpose. Not every presence is safe for your promise. And so, in my love, I'm removing what doesn't belong anymore. I'm clearing out the old to make room for the new. Because what you thought was the whole picture was only a small piece. What you thought was the final destination was just one stop along the way. Don't hold on to what I'm trying to release. Don't chase what I've already removed. Don't stay attached to what I've already outgrown on your behalf. I see farther than you. I know the hearts of people better than you do. I understand what's needed for the next chapter, and I also know what will hold you back. Let me rewrite your circle. Let me choose your companions. Let me place people around you who speak life, not confusion, who walk in alignment with my purpose, not against it. You're not being abandoned. You're being aligned. And I know it hurts sometimes. I know it's painful to see what you loved fade away. But child, I would never take something from you unless I had something greater in store. This is part of the process. Before the victory becomes visible, I must make sure your environment can carry the weight of it. Not everyone can handle your crown. Not everyone will understand your calling. Not everyone will celebrate your breakthrough. And that's okay. I am not raising you to depend on the approval of people. I am raising you to stand on the strength of my word. I am preparing you to walk with purpose, not with baggage. And I'm pruning your life, not to leave you empty, but to make you fruitful. You are not losing. You are being positioned. You are not broken. You are being prepared. So if a door closes, let it stay closed. If someone walks away, bless them and release them. If a dream changes direction, follow my lead. I know what you truly need, even more than you do. And when the time comes for the victory to be revealed, you will look back and understand why every loss was actually love. Why every goodbye was really grace. Why every ending was my protection. So trust me, child. The chapter that is closing is not your story's end. It's just the turning of the page towards something greater, brighter, and far more beautiful than you ever imagined. Signs of the win: peace, favor, and new vision. My child, you've been wondering, how will I know when the victory is here? How can I be sure I've already won even when things don't look different yet? Let me show you. Let me point out the signs that are already surrounding you, not with noise but with quiet confirmation. You'll know you've won, not by the crowd cheering, but by the peace in your heart when everything around you still seems uncertain. That deep, still feeling, the one that tells you everything will work out, even when there's no sign yet. That's not your imagination. That's me. That's the victory beginning to unfold inside of you before it ever shows up on the outside. It's the calm you feel when you stop explaining yourself. It's the rest you find when you no longer need to control what happens next. It's the quiet confidence in your soul that says, I don't know how, but I know who. That peace, that's your first sign. Because peace is not the absence of trouble, it's the presence of trust. And the moment you choose trust over panic, the war in your mind begins to end. You didn't wait until the outcome to find rest. You found rest in the middle of it. That's victory. Next comes the favor. Unexplained favor. Open doors where they once shut you out. Phone calls you didn't expect. People remembering your name in rooms you've never entered. Suddenly, what once rejected you can't help but recognize you. What ignored you before now turns in your direction. That's not chance. That's not coincidence. That's my hand. I'm placing your name in the right places. I'm bringing your gifts before the right eyes. I'm shifting atmospheres, breaking protocols, and rewriting outcomes. Not for your pride, but for my purpose. That's favor. And when it shows up, it doesn't make sense to others. And it doesn't have to. Because I don't bless based on people's permission. I bless based on my promise. You'll see it in the way things begin to align. You'll walk into rooms and feel peace. You'll meet people who speak life instead of draining your spirit. You'll notice how the rejection no longer stings, because the redirection has finally started to make sense. And then, there is vision. I will give you new eyes. Not to stare at the past, but to see the new path I'm leading you toward. No more fog, no more going in circles, no more wondering, what should I do? I'm giving you clarity. Not all the answers at once, but enough to take the next step with confidence. You'll start to dream again, but this time with purpose. You'll begin to see what I've placed in you and why the delay was never denial. You'll realize that the time you thought was wasted was really preparation. The no wasn't rejection, it was redirection. The heartbreak wasn't punishment, it was protection. The waiting wasn't pointless, it was where the miracle began forming. Everything I allowed has meaning. Every delay carried design. Every closed door carried wisdom. And now that you've come through it, with peace in your heart, favor on your life, and new vision in your spirit, you will begin to see that you didn't just survive. You outlasted it. You rose above it. You kept walking when it would have been easier to give up. You kept believing when others doubted. You held on to hope when fear tried to drag you under. And because of that, the signs of the win are already with you. They're already showing. You may not see the full reward yet, but your spirit knows something has shifted. And that's because it has. The win is not coming, it's already here. You just stepped into it. The announcement is about to be made. My child, what I'm doing in your life will no longer stay hidden. I've seen you walk quietly through pain. I've seen you endure without needing applause. You didn't beg for attention. You didn't cry out for validation. You trusted me in silence. And now I'm about to reward you in the open. The angels have already begun to move. There is an announcement being prepared in the heavens. A shift is happening, not just in your heart, but in your reality. And this time, it won't be a private change. This will be public. Where they once mocked you, they will now see me lift you. Where they once doubted you, they will now witness my hand upon you. Where they once walked away, they will now stand in awe, asking, how did this happen? How did they rise again? But you will know the answer. You'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It wasn't your own strength. It was me. I was the one holding you together when everything felt like it was falling apart. I was the one opening invisible doors when people were closing physical ones. I was the one restoring what no one else could fix. And now, what I've done in secret will be seen with clarity. I will vindicate you, not with arguments, not with revenge, not with words, but with results, with blessings, with peace, with favor that no man can block. You won't have to explain anything. You won't have to prove anything. I will make your life speak louder than anything they tried to say about you. You kept walking when it was hard. You didn't curse the process. You didn't let bitterness take over your heart. You passed the test. And now the heavens are shifting in your favor. The stage is being set, not for your performance, but for my glory. I will place you in positions where people will ask how you got there. I will open doors you didn't even knock on. I will bring opportunities that you didn't chase. And when it happens, remember this. You are not being promoted because of popularity. You are being positioned because of obedience. You kept choosing me, even when it didn't make sense, even when you had questions, even when you had every reason to quit. You didn't. And for that, I am honoring you. Not in secret, but in front of the same people who said it was over for you. They said you're done. But now they will say, we didn't see this coming. And they won't, because only I knew what was growing inside of you all along. Child, your name is being spoken in places your feet haven't touched yet. Your story is reaching people you've never met. Your journey is inspiring lives you don't even know. That's what happens when I move. I go beyond your understanding and work outside your view. Your victory is not something I'm still deciding. It's already sealed. It's not on hold. It's not delayed. It's not waiting for a perfect time according to the world. It's moving according to my perfect timing. So prepare yourself. Prepare not just for the blessing, but for the attention that comes with it. Prepare to be seen. Prepare to be called forward. Prepare for elevation that you didn't campaign for. And as it unfolds, stay humble. Stay close to me. Stay grounded in my word. Because what I'm giving you is more than a moment. It's a mantle, a responsibility, a divine calling that will impact many. This is not just about reward. It's about revealing what I've placed in you from the beginning. So walk boldly, stand tall, and know this. The announcement is about to be made. Heaven is already celebrating, and soon the earth will see what I've been doing in you all along. This is not limbo. This is launch. You've been asking God, when will it happen? But I've been waiting for you to understand. It already has. What you're walking into is simply the echo of what was already decided in heaven. Stop crying over battles that no longer exist. Stop fearing what has no power over you. Stop shrinking back when I called you forward. You have crossed the line. Not into defeat, but into destiny. Let's pray together. Father God, thank you for this divine word that reminds us we are not abandoned. We are appointed. Thank you for the peace that passes all understanding, even when we can't see the full picture. Today we declare that worry is no longer our portion. We embrace your promise, your pace, and your power. Seal this message in our hearts. Let the evidence of this victory begin to show, not for our glory but for yours. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.